Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Chasing Rabbits. My name is Scott Brown, and you found my blog dedicated to helping you become the leader you always wished that you had worked for. So you had to know at some point I was going to start getting into the topic of public speaking, one of my passions in life. One of the questions that I hear very frequently from leaders who are first starting to try to find their public voice, their leadership voice, is how do you get comfortable speaking to people and not being afraid that you're going to make a fool of yourself? The answer is easier than what you might think. And no, I am not going to tell you just picture the crowd naked, because nobody ever wants to see that. Now, instead, I want you to think about the focus of your energy, the focus of why you are speaking in the first place. Very few leaders who stand up to speak, to give a message, are doing so because they want everyone to look at them. Most are doing so because they're trying to galvanize behavior or action to get their followers to follow them. Very rarely do you see anybody stand up in front of a group and speak for their own self-interest. You generally see true leaders standing up in front of a group to speak in order to inspire others to action, to do greater things, to move towards a vision for the betterment of the group. So how do you stand up here and do this without being nervous, without being afraid? I'll tell you two things about this. First, you are never not going to be nervous, and that's okay. Being nervous, though, is very much like excitement. Those physiological reactions in your body feel very similar. One of the keys is to every time that you stand up to speak and you tell yourself, I'm nervous, turn that switch off and remind yourself, no, I'm excited. If you tell yourself that you're excited to spread the message you're about to spread, to give the message you're about to give, to speak to followers, to help galvanize a community, it becomes a lot less scary because you know that you're doing good for something. You are helping others. The excitement and the nervousness feel a lot alike. It's the story that you tell yourself about that cue that dictates the reaction you are going to have. The reward is always in the message itself, the connection. The behavior is the reaction to the cue. Nervousness can be retold as excitement. The second thing I want to share about how to not be nervous is think about whom you are speaking to. And I don't mean a large group of people, the team, an organization, a crowd. If you are going to give your last speech ever, this is the last time you're going to talk to your followers, what is it that you would want to say? And not to everybody, but what is it you would want to say to one person in the crowd, one specific person in the crowd? Picture in your mind, in your mind's eye, the most important person in your life. Maybe it's a child, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a nephew, someone with whom you want to come with you upon your journey, and it's important that you instill your wisdom on them. It generally works best with children, with somebody younger than you, a niece, a nephew, someone who plays for you on a baseball team. That's who I actually use. Yes, if you're watching this, some of those kids in Hunters Creek are in my mind when I'm speaking because I want to help them take the next step forward. If you picture that person and you tell yourself, if I was to have no other opportunities to instill wisdom, to help that person grow, what is it that I would say? That eliminates the nerves because all of a sudden, folks aren't looking at you. You are just having a conversation with one person, one incredibly important person in your life, and everyone else is just there to hear you. It stops being about all those eyes on you, and it starts being about what you're giving to that person. When you speak, the goal is always to inspire someone. It doesn't matter whom. It doesn't matter if it's the person you thought you're going to inspire. It doesn't matter if it's not all of the people in the audience. It matters that you inspired somebody to follow you forward. Sometimes that journey is a lot shorter than what you might think. Sometimes it's a lot longer than what you might think. But speaking is about connection. So to keep from being so nervous, remember those two ideas. We are always going to be nervous. Allow yourself to feel it. Change that nervousness to excitement and talk to one person. Tomorrow, we will talk about the power of the pause. Everybody have a wonderful night tonight. I will talk to you tomorrow. Toast on, my friends, and I will talk to you tomorrow on another edition of Chasing Rabbits. Be well.